You see now? You see what I'm talking about?
As soon as you did it, I started laughing because I knew exactly what was about to happen.
Every damn time.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy GQ and Boulevard. We are here for another great episode of Live from the Bench. In today's episode, we're going to talk about this upcoming matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Washington Commanders and why this matchup is so damn important. But before we get started, I just wanted you guys to know that we really appreciate everybody who has been sticking around, watching the shows, doing what you're doing. We love it. Keep doing it. If you guys have any comments or concerns or any suggestions, feel free to hit us up. We are open to receiving any suggestions that y'all have. We even open to having bringing guests on to talk. So, listen.
Yeah, I want guests.
I would love to see more people coming. And this is coming from the ex-Foot Clan member.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put too much emphasis on the term clan.
Is, though. But I mean, working for him was terrible.
Anyway, Boulevard.
Trauma. What's up?
Let's start us off. Why is this matchup with the Eagles and Commanders so important?
Well, at this point in the season, it's probably the most important game because of playoff positioning, division positioning. And as we go further into the second half, when things start picking up and the games like this matter for who beat who, where, positioning for ties and tiebreakers and all that shit. I mean, also, you got this team coming in, this upstart team led by a rookie quarterback, and this is a test for them as far as how far they stack up with the big boys. And converse to that, the Eagles on this win streak haven't really beat anyone of significance. So this is their hardest test in their current form. That's why I would say it's a matchup. It's a test for both of them. To see where they truly stand and as far as where the big boys play.
I agree.
Are they? Who's the top dog? Potentially in NFC outside of Detroit, and that's what's on the line.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is one of those matchups.
Seed is on the line potentially in a game like this.
Yeah, I think this is one of those matchups where you're like, oh man, because all year you and I both have been rooting to see Jaden Daniels succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And today, I mean this matchup coming up, Eagles versus the Commanders. We're like, all right, Jaden, you can have a bad game today because it's like we don't want to see you fail, but today. Or in this game in particular, we want to see you play the worst you've played all year. Yeah. So it's a very important game because it's for the top spot in the NFC East. I mean, I would almost go as far as to say that the Dallas Cowboys are so far out of it due to injuries and
we're not even considering them really. At this point.
And then the Giants are the Giants. So they're already out of it just because they're the Giants. So I think it's at this point it's 100% up to the Commanders and the Eagles, and they just got to keep it whatever they're doing. With that being said, something we saw is that the Commanders. They have the top offense. I think they're like tied with Buffalo.
Points scored, yeah.
Points scored. And then the Eagles' defense was, what was that? Was it points scored? What are they, the top one?
They're top two. top 2, top 3. Wow, Chargers.
Mm,
Yeah, they're somewhere in the top 2 or 3. They're up there.
okay. So you pitting one of the top offenses versus one of the top defenses against each other. So it makes you wonder what are you getting? And the fact that this is what the Eagles are doing, like the Eagles are the top, and the top is like, wow, because at the beginning of the season, we're like, this defense is nothing to be proud of. Like we wanted the Eagles to make so many changes along this defense, and you're looking at them like, wow, they're really doing good. And then you look at the Commanders' offense; they're really not that type of team you write home about. Like if you look at the receivers on the team, I believe it's Terry McLaurin, Olamide Zacchaeus, and Luke McCaffrey.
Noah Brown's probably separated himself as the number 2 at this point in Washington.
Yeah. So that's your combinations of receivers.
Mm-hmm.
They have aging Zach Ertz. They have a nice combination of runners, but like I said, you can't all have the ball at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's like you look at them as like they probably work really well together, but none of them are like if you lose Terry McLaurin, what is this offense really going to do? I don't know. It's just like they're probably one of those offenses. It's like they just work really well together as a unit. None of them are like necessarily stepping away or setting themselves apart. Like besides Terry McLaurin, because he sets himself apart, being Scary Terry. But the rest of them are just like, they're there.
I mean, the run game's kind of hitting over there in Washington. They're doing some things with the run game. Like I said, it's them, Philly, and Baltimore that's basically been dominating on the ground. And you can see it in the records how effective it's been. So,
I feel like they have a really
Washington running back has separated himself from the pack as I'm going through the list. I mean, it looks like Daniels is getting his fair share and Robinson's getting his fair share of rushing yards on the ground. And we all know the value of that. As you can see, it leads to wins when you focus on the run game. So I feel like, as with that in general, that's what it's going to come down to here is we have, like I said, 2 of the top 3 running games. One team is running because that's just what they're best at. The other one, for the most part, is running to protect the rookie and to limit him from making too many mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's like the major thing here is like you got an offense that's like not necessarily that special. Like on paper, they're not special on paper. If you look at them on paper, they don't look that special, but they're coming together the way you'd like to see a unit come together. They're like really good as a unit. So, I mean, I'm very excited to see this matchup. It's an interesting matchup.
I mean, I'll put it this way: Washington, it's like you know me, I got my stats here. So Washington's only allowed 198.6 passing yards per game, but they have also allowed a 6.3 touchdown rate, which is 30th. That's the worst. Their secondary has been terrible. They also allow 21 yards a game to rushers, pass quarterbacks. So that's, I mean, they're not going to stop the pass.
That's what Commanders.
Yeah, this is what it's going to come down to. They're not going to be able to stop the pass. The piece they brought in, Lattimore, he's out. So I mean, from what my numbers tell me is Quinn tends to throw man coverage out there against. Wait, let me sort this out here. Go ahead and talk.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, I mean,
I lost my place.
I feel like that's one of the issues that Washington's gonna have to because for one, you have to focus on Saquon. You have to. You can't disregard Saquon and Jalen Hurts' running ability, and then you have receivers that can really beat you. And I feel like this is Zach. Like, yes, this will be Zach Ertz redemption tour, but he doesn't necessarily look at it as if it's a redemption tour because he knows he aged out. But you got Jahan Dotson who has something to prove. So this could be like a redeemer type situation, but you have a dominant receiving core that can possibly tear this off this really lackluster secondary. They can really tear them up because you got a guy like Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin can make some plays on defense, but is he healthy enough, or is he going to be the type to make those plays in coverage, or is he a better run stopping safety? That's been my question about him for a while now, because he can make some plays, but being that he's more of a bigger guy, is he more of a threat to tackle, or is he that type of guy you can expect to stop a lot of plays? I don't know, but I want to see what can happen. But yeah, this does look like where if Eagles are running the ball, they'll find success. And if they're passing the ball, they can find success because of that threat to run with Saquon or Jalen. So it's definitely one of those. It's confused. It's a scary situation because both of these teams have talent. And I have like a little bit of a position by position matchup. I mean, it may be a little bit biased, but I mean, of course, it's going to be biased. We're an Eagles show, but I tried my best to be as objective when it came to this as possible. So I went at the quarterback position. Jaden Daniels, he's looking good as a rookie, but he's still a rookie. Jalen Hurts being very efficient this year. So I went with the veteran and the guy who seems like he's a better dual threat. So I'm going with Jalen Hurts. He has better weapons and he's got more time, man. I went with Jalen Hurts as my pick as the better in this positional matchup. When you go position by position, I went Jalen Hurts. I took Jalen Hurts over Jalen.
There's no position where the Redskins are going to be superior on offense.
Not on offense, maybe. I went with running back. I went with Saquon. Brian Robinson, I like him. Austin Eckler, I've never been a fan of Austin Eckler. I don't know why. I just don't like him. I think it's his head.
He's solid for fantasy this year, but
I think it's his head shape that bothers me.
Okay.
Wide receiver. You have Terry McLaurin, but when you go with Terry McLaurin, you match him up with Eagles better. AJ Brown. AJ Brown wins that matchup. Devontae Smith against any receiver on the Commanders receiving core, he beats any of these secondary receivers. So you go with the tight end position. Zach Ertz is a legend in Philadelphia. We love him. But right now he's aged out. He's not who he used to be. Dallas Goedert, he is right now a better pick over Zach Ertz. So tight end position, Eagles win that matchup. O-line, Eagles win that matchup, no argument. Like, you can't really argue that. D-line, there's some argument there, but you have a lot of age on the Washington side, so I went with Eagles D-line there. Now at linebacker, 100% I go with Commanders. Just having Bobby Wagner there, even though he's old, I feel like he's a better linebacker. If you match him up with Kobe Dean or Zach Bond, he's a better linebacker, even though Zach Bond is playing out of his mind right now. Bobby Wagner is better. Now on the secondary, there is no position on the secondary, even if you want to put Marshawn Lattimore out there, where I would say the Commanders win this. Like Latimer is like the whole secondary, so I didn't even bother to go special teams because
that was so unnecessary talent wise. It's a wash. It really is. I don't even. Yeah.
As I was going through it in my mind, I thought it was going to be more competitive, and then I was like,
I don't remember how bad that team was last season. There was a reason they drafted as high as they did.
I feel really bad now because I didn't mean to because basically it's like I feel like because I was trying to be objective, but I'm like, I really can't name anybody.
Don't be objective. Be honest.
Well, I was being honest, but I wanted to be objective. I wanted to take my bias out of it, but it's just like I don't think anybody can actually look at it and see things any differently. And like
Washington had the number 2 pick last year, so I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not a fluke. It's not a fluke. A solid quarterback and a solid system can make a difference.
Yeah.
I don't know what next season holds when Kingsbury takes a head coaching job somewhere, but for right now, I mean, they look decent for what they do. They look good at what they do well, which I guess is good running and minimizing mistakes. I mean, what they do is I have stats that say Washington leads the NFL with 2.9 points per drive and 3.49 points per drive on the road. I mean, to counter that, the Eagles have allowed a league low 0.93 points per drive since the bye. So, I mean, Washington, they move the ball consistently on the ground. Counterpoint, they allow a lot of rushing yards too. They also allow a lot of passing touchdowns. Yeah. Well, I mean, Washington allows 3.32 points per drive on the road compared to 1.7 per drive at home. I know most of y'all don't understand what that means. It just means that they're consistently moving the ball, allowing points.
They're just getting lucky, you think?
No. Also, 55% of Philly's yardage has been gained through rushing yards, the most in the league. Washington is 50.5. Like I said, most teams like to run the ball. 62% of Washington's touchdowns have been on the ground. That's the highest. 57.1 of Philly's touchdowns have been rushing. Second, it's going to come down to rushing. 71% of the plays allowed by Washington have been touchdown, the second highest. 45.2% of the plays Eagles have allowed have been touchdowns. Eagles have a more consistent, a better defense. I almost said more better defense. They have a better defense. To go back to what you said earlier, it's just the numbers say it all.
Yeah.
Washington allows 70% red zone conversion rate. We're third worst in the league. And the Eagles allow 42.3%, third best in the league. Again, better defense. The numbers say it all. What Washington does well is they pressure the quarterback.
That's good. Maybe that'll help him.
It's like people say that Hurts is doing well, but I mean, he's been pressured on a career high 43% of his dropbacks. Granted, he's completed 52% of his passes, but for 5.8 yards an attempt. From a clean pocket, he's hitting damn near 80% and 9.8 yards an attempt. So he's still not great under pressure, but he's much improved, especially since he's facing it so often, more than he's ever been in his career. But that's what Washington does. They will put pressure on Hurts. They will attack Hurts. So that's what you got to keep an eye out for. But they can be beat through the air. They give up a lot of touchdowns.
There you go. All right. So that was Boulevard's analytics.
Analytics.
I was going to think of something. Oh, I'm gonna give you a stereo.
Give me a stereo?
No, I don't know if I can afford to give you a stereo.
They still make stereos?
Sure, somewhere. I'm pretty sure they're all like MP3'd out. But here's my scenario. Because I saw it on somewhere and I was just like, interesting. They said Cowboys tank. The Cowboys tank pick up Shador. No,
Okay.
it wasn't the Cowboys getting Shador. Someone else is getting Shador. Cowboys get Cam Ward. Cowboys trade Dak Prescott. They pick up Genty.
Oh my God.
Cliff Kingsbury becomes the Cowboys head coach. Does that hurt Philly?
Mm-hmm.
Is that something we dislike?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not a good scenario for Philly.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I'm hearing some bull crap talking about, oh yeah, now Jerry Jones is interested in bringing in Bill Belichick. It's like, no, the fuck he's not.
He's not.
He's not. No, he's not. Like, why people just pull stories out their asses?
They do. They do.
He has no interest in bringing in Belichick because he'd have to secede power.
Yeah, and he's not going to do that.
Right.
He's not going to do that. That's
Belichick.
the reason why he hasn't had. That's the reason why his coaching hires have been lackluster. That's the reason why Jason Garrett was there so long and they were so mediocre. That's the reason why they probably haven't won a Super Bowl in over 20 years. Because he wants to see power. It doesn't matter. He just Yeah. That's the problem. Anyway, let's move on, Boulevard, because I know you've been waiting for this all day. So,
ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
All right. This game is a Thursday night game on Amazon Prime.
Woo!
I believe sometimes it comes on NFL Network. I'm not 100% sure. But I like to watch it with the AWS analytics because I like to see the shapes across the screen, and it tells you like the miles per hour and the yards underneath their names.
Yeah, I think we're all unanimously a fan of that.
Yeah, I like that. I was told that Amazon gets better camera angles and stuff than any of other networks. They get better angles. And I'm like, that's crazy because I wouldn't let anybody have my feeds if you're going to have better stuff than me. You got to share that. But we're going to make our predictions for this game. Boulevard.
Yep.
What do you got? Because I know you like to have your specials, your overs, your unders, your interception, or your whatever, because I'm picking Philadelphia. So
I know that. Yeah. All right. Damn, I probably should have went into more depth with this. But all right. Over under 220 yards on the air for Jaden Daniels.
I think it's probably going to be I don't know. You know what? I'm going to say no. I think they're going to, I think he's going to, no. I think he'll get 180. I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to beat that Philly Eagles defense up. He's going to be able to. No, I don't think he's going to be able to get the ball down the field that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
250 total yards for Hurts.
Passing or total?
Total.
250, you say? Yeah, total, yes. He'll probably get like 80 yards rushing. He's going to be forced out of the pocket so much behind this pass rush. He's going to get his yards. So, yeah.
160 total yards for Barkley.
Total?
No.
He's going to go under. I'll give him 120.
You doubt the offensive player of the year? You are mad with power. Mad.
Yes. I doubt that this game is going to be. I doubt that Saquon will need to rush that much. I feel like by the point where like we're in the third quarter, we're looking to see more. They're going to be rotating backs by then. Because I feel like the game's going to be decided in the third quarter.
When can strategize defensively well enough to keep the Redskins in the game, Commanders in the game? So it should mean I could see a scenario where it's a close game coming down the stretch. The over-under is Philly 3.5. So I guess for the most part, they agree with me. I mean, the line is 3.5, the over-under is 48. So they agree with me. It's going to be probably a close one down the stretch. Maybe first team to 28 wins. Well, obviously, first team to 28 wins. Somebody scores. Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
28 to 20-ish. Somebody does something at the end of the game, deep late in the fourth quarter, touchdown to separate.
I can't wait for this game.
Again, it's a challenge. It's going to be a challenge for the Eagles. Either that, or the Eagles are going to come in there prepared. Put it this way: if it's a defensive matchup, it still bodes well in the Eagles' favor because the Eagles have weapons, and if it comes down to one big play or two, as a lot of divisional matchups tend to, that also works in the Eagles' favor.
I feel like the only way Washington wins this game is if they force the Eagles to turn the ball over. If they get Jalen Hurts or anybody on their offense to turn the ball over early in the game, they can win the game. If the Eagles come out there and play clean football, no mistakes, it's blowout.
Yeah, Hurts had an interception last week, but that was his first one in a while.
Yeah,
week 3.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, so I feel like it's a blowout. They come out there play mistake-free football. Washington doesn't stand a chance.
So you think Philly makes it a statement game?
They have to. After what they just did, they have to. They have to prove that it wasn't a fluke. They have to prove that the game that it wasn't because they were playing a shitty Dallas team. It wasn't because they were playing a shitty Jaguars team. It wasn't because they were playing a shitty Giants team. They have to prove that this is the team. And I feel as though that if Nick Sirianni, as long as Nick Sirianni's not calling the plays, he can stick to being the most motivational players coach guy because that works for him. They love him. That's one thing is the players don't dislike Nick Sirianni, right? Even though there's a lot of people want to throw out the narrative that Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni aren't getting along. I mean, I don't know that. You don't know that because you're not Nick Sirianni or Jalen Hurts. You're not in that locker room, so you can't say that. So I'm not going to say that either. What I will say is Nick Sirianni has that kind of energy that he brings to a football team, and they're like, yes, they stand with this. So I feel as though Nick Sirianni is probably thinking the same thing in my mind that I'm thinking. This team is probably thinking the same thing. We can't walk out there and make it look like the past 3 games were a fluke. We have to come out here and say that, hey, we come out there and we bust ass. And that's what they have to do. I think this is definitely a statement game. Not to try to statement game to say, hey, we're still in it. This is a statement game to say, hey, this is where we belong at the top of the NFC East. Washington, move over because you just got here. You don't belong here. This is not your seat. So, yeah, there's a reason that they have to prove that there's a reason why the Eagles only lost 2 games, and there's a reason that Washington will go from 3 games to 4. Knock them back down there, sit next to Dallas, sit next to Giants where y'all belong. And I feel as though if they come out there and they prove who they are and they blow out the Commanders, I think that's the point where you start seeing the Commanders start to decline. And that's where you see where the Eagles are the lone NFC team NFC
You
East.
see that like Jaden hits the rookie wall this week or something like that.
It's got to come at some point.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, I wouldn't want to see it because he's my Rookie of the Year nominee, but at the same time, that rookie wall is going to come. He can't. I mean, he's got to hit something to where he's like, all right, bam, and then he gets to recover himself, get his footing back. But it's gonna come at some point, and this is the best team to give it to him because this game is everything is on like all the cards are right here in this game. I won't say all the cards, but this is like a very significant game on Washington's schedule because it's a division game. It's for the number one spot. So it's that important. And do we know if Jaden Daniels can handle that at this level?
We will see.
Other than that, I say unto you all, thank you for coming.
Oh, wait.
I'm so happy that you're here. Don't forget to go watch. Huh?
Are you happy that we're here?
We are happy that you're here. Don't make sure you guys take the time and go watch Universal Good Guys or whatever that show is called. I don't
What? No.
It's not a good show.
I'm sorry. No.
Universal Basic Guys.
Live from the bench does not stand by that statement.
It's not a good show. I'll watch it because it's a cartoon, but because I like cartoons. I like Cropopolis, but that don't mean that they're good shows. They're not. They're not Boulevard. You know that. They're not good apples. They're not good shows. They're really bad. They're not really bad. Fox, what are you doing? Oh. Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we can't all be starters. And Boulevard has something fun and nice to say to all of you screwbags at home.
I do have something nice to say. Greg Popovich had a mild stroke. No,
I'm going to go slap the intern.
He did have a stroke. And that's not funny. Okay. Hit the bench, I guess.